A significant maritime incident recently occurred in the South China Sea, involving vessels from the Chinese Navy and Chinese Coast Guard, alongside a Philippine Coast Guard vessel. This event marks a notable escalation in the ongoing tensions within the disputed waters. The collision took place during a pursuit operation, drawing international attention to navigation safety and territorial claims. The incident involved a Chinese Navy-guided missile destroyer and a Chinese Coast Guard cutter. These vessels were reportedly engaged in pursuing a Philippine Coast Guard vessel when the collision occurred. This development highlights the complex and often hazardous interactions in the region. The Philippine Coast Guard reported that the incident transpired approximately 10.5 nautical miles east of Bajo Damasin Lock, also known as Scarborough Shoal. This area is a highly contested feature in the South China Sea, claimed by multiple nations. The precise location underscores the sensitive nature of the encounter. The Philippine vessel involved was the BRP Sul-1, a cutter engaged in a humanitarian mission. It was delivering fuel and essential provisions to Filipino fishermen operating under the Kadiwa operation. This operation aims to support local fishing communities in the area. The Chinese vessels implicated in the collision were the Chinese Coast Guard vessel 3104 and the Chinese Navy destroyer Guilin. The presence of both Coast Guard and Navy assets indicates a coordinated operational posture by China in the disputed waters. Their involvement in a pursuit operation against a Philippine vessel underscores the assertive nature of their presence. According to the Philippine Coast Guard's account, the Chinese Coast Guard vessel 3104 was actively chasing the BRP Sul-1 at high speed. During this pursuit, the CCG vessel executed a sharp maneuver. This sudden change in direction led directly to its collision with the Chinese Navy destroyer Guilin. The impact of the collision resulted in severe damage to the Chinese Coast Guard vessel. Its forecastle, the forward part of the ship, sustained significant structural compromise. This damage rendered the CCG vessel unseaworthy, necessitating immediate attention and potentially extensive repairs. Following the collision, the Philippine Coast Guard cutter BRP Teresa Magbanua, designated MRRV 9701, took action. It safely escorted the Filipino fishermen, who were the intended recipients of the BRP Sul-1 supplies, to a secure location. There, they successfully received the much-needed fuel and essential provisions. Despite the aggressive actions of the Chinese vessels, the Philippine Coast Guard extended an offer of medical assistance. This offer was directed towards any injured personnel aboard the damaged Chinese Coast Guard vessel. The PCG also expressed hopes for their swift recovery, demonstrating a humanitarian approach amidst the tension. China, however, did not acknowledge this offer of medical assistance. Furthermore, Chinese authorities did not confirm any injuries among their personnel following the collision. This lack of confirmation leaves the status of the injured personnel unverified from the Chinese side. The Philippine Department of National Defense issued a strong condemnation of the incident. They characterized China's actions as atrocious and inane behavior. This statement reflects Manila's official stance on the perceived recklessness and disregard for safety demonstrated by the Chinese vessels. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs addressed the broader situation in the South China Sea during a recent press briefing. However, its spokesperson did not directly address the collision incident itself. Instead, the spokesperson criticized Philippine actions in the South China Sea. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson accused Manila of infringing on Chinese sovereignty. This accusation reiterates Beijing's long-standing claims over the disputed territories. The statement frames Philippine activities as violations of China's territorial integrity. Meanwhile, the Chinese Coast Guard issued its own statement regarding the encounter. The CCG asserted that its actions were conducted in accordance with the law. They further stated that they took all necessary measures to expel the Philippine vessels from the area. This position maintains that their operations were legitimate and defensive. This collision represents the latest in a series of tense encounters that have unfolded over the past 2 years. Both Beijing and Manila continue to press their respective claims in the South China Sea. These competing claims frequently lead to confrontations and near misses in the disputed waters. In December of last year, a notable incident occurred near Scarborough Shoal. The Philippines accused the Chinese Coast Guard of employing water cannons against a Philippine government vessel. Additionally, the CCG was accused of sideswiping the vessel during a patrol. Just last February, another concerning event took place over the disputed Scarborough Shoal. A Chinese Navy helicopter reportedly flew dangerously close to a Philippine patrol aircraft. The Philippine aircraft was conducting a routine low-altitude patrol at the time, highlighting the risks of aerial encounters in the region. These recurring incidents underscore the persistent friction and the potential for miscalculation in the South China Sea. The recent collision further emphasizes the need for clear communication and adherence to international maritime safety protocols to prevent future, more severe incidents. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get updates on the ongoing situation between China and Philippines.